Okay, this is probably going to be kind of a short video, but it's going to be a long introduction. Last week I had a really weird dream where a talking spider said a whole bunch of stuff. I wrote it all down in a fucking text file. I don't even know if I want to say it now. It doesn't matter. The whole thing about the spider doesn't matter. Ultimately, it ends up with some kind of joke about milfs, and I'm just going to skip over it. So a week ago I had a dream, and after having that dream, I immediately dropped the fishing RPG prototype that I was working on, that I didn't show anyone yet. It was just an idea that I wanted to make. And I decided to just make a strategy RPG with big titty anime girls, because that's pretty much the only thing that I can make myself motivated to draw. Can't draw anything else, because my ADHD brain is like, I'm not interested in that, I only want to see big titty anime milfs, so that's all I can draw. I wanted to make an srpg for a while. I've tried to make them in the past in 3D and stuff. Never really figured it out. So I thought I'd start simple with more of a Fire Emblem style map, but this isn't going to be a Fire Emblem style game. It's gonna be more like kind of like Final Fantasy. It's gonna have actions and shit, like a whole action system. Currently, I have movement. I have line attacks, AOE attacks. I have single target attacks all set up, and enemies move and they attack. You can see the health bar took some damage. All of that works. I don't know how in-depth the game is going to get overall. Right now it's 2 characters, 1 enemy. I'm going to have a whole bunch of characters and maybe like 25 story chapters for like some kind of plot, and, about 25 battle encounters and stuff. Yeah, I mean, I've tried in the past to make like 3D SRPGs, that's never really worked out. Every time I've tried to find like a tutorial or a guide on how to do it, they've always been like super overly complicated and complex, and just like it's too much. So I thought I'd start simple, figure it out in 2D, and I'm really kind of feeling like I could do this in 3D now that I figured out in 2D, but I want to finish this project. I started it. I don't know how I feel about 32 by 32 sprites. I kind of want to maybe do 48s or 64s, but I might stick with the 32s just because I'm hoping I can get something pretty much settled and done in about 3 to 4 months. And in a week, I feel like I've made a lot of progress. The game pretty much works, difficult terrain works, pathfinding works. If you move someone here, for example, they can move 1, 2, 3, but then, 1, 2, 3, because, this is supposed to be a forest and it's difficult terrain. And, when you win, the game just quits, because that's about it. All the enemies right now just have 1 health, but they have a simple AI, and the AI is just like a while loop that says, while I have actions left, and then there's like a priority list. Am I next to a player unit? Because if so, I can attack. Or should I move closer and stuff like that? So I feel like the basics of the combat are kind of in. Now I just need to make it look good with animations and more units and more enemy types with different enemy AI types, like caster enemies and stuff like that. And I feel like I've really lost the train of thought I had, so maybe that means it's time to end the video. Oh yeah, there was one more thing. I was talking about how I kind of have figured it out how to do it in 3D, so I think after this, like after like 3 months when I do this, I am going to try doing it in 3D. And one thing I'll probably do, I probably won't be using this model because it's very low poly, but I was thinking, I remember playing Girls Frontline 2, and something in that game that always caught my eye was the fact that whenever the units would do anything, the camera would go around behind them and their skirts would flip up and show their underwear. And I always liked that feature of Girls Frontline 2. I think it was great. The developers really knew the audience they were targeting when they made that decision. So, if I finish this 2D one and it gets at least 100 sales on Steam to show, maybe people actually other people other than me like big titty anime girls in video games. Because, if you look at the kind of games putting out, these days, no games fucking have big titty anime girls in them anymore. Not even the gacha games. Even the gacha games coming out now, it's like, oof, everyone's flat, and it sucks. But yeah, that's the train of thought, and that's this video. It's probably going to be titled something like Gooner Gacha Game, question mark, SRPG, no, just Gooner SRPG, question mark, devlog, question mark, what am I doing? Question mark. The end.